Lovescaping is my philosophy of life and a method for learning to love. Where do we learn to love? Think about this question. It's a rare and unusual question because we often assume that we're going to learn to love at home with our parents or caretakers. And unfortunately, that's not a universal experience, right? What happens when a child grows up in a home where they are abused and they're told that they're loved? And perhaps they grow up thinking that love is abuse because that's all they know. And so I really believe that this is one of the most important questions we should be asking ourselves as a humanity. And we shouldn't take love for granted and assume that because a human being is born in the world, that they will learn love at home. So Lovescaping is my humble attempt to address this need, to define love consciously and intentionally so that we can teach it. It comes from my lived experience growing up in Venezuela. My oldest sister, Tuti, is differently abled, and she was my first teacher of love. She taught me how to be patient and empathetic and compassionate. And the most important thing that she taught me is that there's no such thing as being normal, that every human being is unique and different, and we all benefit when we embrace one another. So I took those seeds that were planted in my heart and left my home country 20 years ago. And in that time, I've had the great opportunity to live in very different places around the world, from Europe to Africa, Asia, the Americas, always working in education and community development. And what I learned from all that living and loving is that love transcends all differences, and that love is not a feeling. Love is an action. And that was the birth of Lovescaping, my philosophy of life, my humble attempt to define and operationalize love so that we can teach it. So when I looked at all of those experiences around the world, I was able to uncover the ingredients that made love possible. So it was a process of putting my life experience, my lived experience, into a theory, a framework, and now back into practice. And so Lovescaping is the intentional practice of humility, empathy, respect, care, communication, compassion, patience, trust, honesty, vulnerability, solidarity, liberation, gratitude, forgiveness, and hope. And those 15 pillars are values. And these values are teachable. We can teach them the same way we teach math, reading, and science. And so it is my big mission to teach love in schools, in communities, in any environment, so that we can build a better humanity. Imagine children growing up, going to school where they had a dedicated class where they learn to love themselves, and learn to love others, learn to build healthy relationships. To me, this is the biggest need in the world. And so our mission is to teach love consciously and intentionally to build a more just, peaceful, and loving world.